think we're live. We look live. Good morning, beloveds. I am back in my regularly appointed live streaming space, and I'm very happy about that. The light in here, the chain broke, and the fans honestly were original to when we bought the house. Not original to the house, but when we bought the house. And we've been in the house for more than 20 years, I think 20 years now, or just over 20 years. And so we just kind of went, well, we could try and fix it, but what we decided to do was just replace the fan. It's just not something my husband nor I could do. So, and finding a good handyman is kind of hard. And fortunately, my coworker had a good, her neighbor works for a company that's what they do. They're handymen or handy people, I guess. Cause, the person that he communicated with was a woman, although it was a guy that did come out and do the work. So, and Tom showed him all the, okay, these are these are the things that we need to fix. But the two things the guy did do was he replaced the fan in this room and the other bedroom, so the two small bedrooms, which it's not a bedroom, it's a library. There's no room in there for a bed. It's literally full of books. So I get to come back and I'm happy. So y'all might see cameos or you might not. I don't know. The boys are both in here, but I don't think that I got one of them to come up here, but he just attacked my hand. So I'm very happy. Okay. Ooh. Here we go. No. That was Giovanni. Giovanni, neither of the boys like being held, but Giovanni will tolerate it. Dante's usually a struggle. Okay, but you're not here to listen to me talk about all this, even though I'm very excited to be back in this room. So, you are here for a new design for living because we are going to finish up chapter 6 today. So let's do the housekeeping. And all the housekeeping is me reminding you that we are Creative Life Spiritual Center. Website is creativelife.org. Constant contact email, info@creativelife.org. That will get you one email a week, tells you what's going on for the week and the month, and the hot links are hot. So if it says click here now, it means it. It'll take you right to the information or the person that can help you get it. So, hang on. Sorry. And then when I say one a week, I mean that merely from the standpoint of it's a real person doing it, and he just doesn't have time for more than that. The only reason you would get an additional email is if something unusual happened, i.e., it's almost always weather related because we do live on the Gulf Coast. So, yeah. Okay. And then the last thing is the social medias. And I mention them merely because we don't monetize them. We don't want to deal with the ads any more than you do. So what we ask you to do instead is go like, subscribe, follow, based on which platform you are on, and then engage with the individual posts. So react to the post, comment on the post, share the post. It bumps us in the algorithms. More people see our stuff, which honestly is the goal of social media. So there we are. Okay. A New Design for Living was written towards the end of Ernest's career. What I like to say is this is the process of science of mind. And what I've been saying is we are religion for government paperwork, but really we're more of a philosophy. We're a way of life. You can live your life this way. And that is what he did here. He sat down and said, okay, here's how you do science of mind as a way of life. And like I said, we are in chapter 6. We are doing great possibilities. Okay. That's the only problem with coming back in here is now I have to figure out, where everything was. Where everything was. All right. But the boys are definitely enjoying the sunshine. Okay. So we are finishing up chapter 6, Great Possibilities, and the last article of the chapter is Start to Accept Life. In one respect, it is sad but true that our limitations originate within ourselves. But on the other hand, it is perhaps the most wonderful thing that could happen. For now, we are not dealing with something over which we have no control, but instead we are dealing with that over which we can have complete control, our thought. To do something about limitations, we do not need to wait until tomorrow to start. Today is the day. But start right now. Start right now. But we may feel that we have too many problems, too many worries, and aches and pains to get underway. Alibis. The more difficulties we may feel we have, the more imperative it is that we start to do something about them right now, rather than indulge in creating more difficulties. But we just can't find the time to start to think in a new way, to start to create a new design for living. Alibi again. Wow, he's just calling us out on our stuff today. We will never find the time. We must take the time. If anything is to be done at all, now is the time to start. No doubt we have been and are now thinking in ways that are destructive of our good. We didn't have to make undue effort to do this. Neither will the other way of thinking. The constructive way Neither will the other way of thinking. The constructive way require undue effort. Occasionally he structures sentences in a way that are like, wait, what? What did I just read? But basically what he's saying is, it takes the same amount of effort to think destructively as it does constructively. There's no difference in the effort, so why are we not doing it? Okay? Let's see. We just start doing it. And once we start, it will become a normal and natural process. As a result, our lives will begin to become more normal and natural, more in accord with the nature of things as they really are. And I think that's kind of important, that, our lives will become more normal and natural and in accord with the nature of things the way they really are, because that's one of the things that, we're so busy focused on the way we wish things were that we don't focus on how things are. And if we would focus on how things are, then the opportunity to change them would be evident. But if we're busy wishing that they were different, then we're not seeing the opportunities of how to change things. So seeing things how they actually are is a good thing, even if it doesn't feel like it at first. Okay. Nothing is more certain than that we have entertained too much morbidity and doubt and fear when it comes to thinking of God, mind, and our relationship to life. We have imposed the limitation of our own thought on the flow of its activity in us. We are limited. We have limited our experience of life itself by what we consider life to be. We are neatly caught in a trap of our own creation. As we limit God or the activity of mind through us, we are limiting ourselves. If we say God can and will only provide us with a certain degree of health and happiness, then we can never have more than the degree we believe in. We can never limit the nature of the infinite, but we can limit our experience of it by our limited concept of it. Okay? Now, I happen to think that was a super important line, so I'm going to read it again. Okay? We can never limit the nature of the infinite, but we can limit our experience of it by our limited concept of it. And the truth is, our concept is always going to be limited because in this material form, we are naturally limited. But I mean, the argument is that we agreed to this. We agreed to this temporarily limited form for whatever reason it would be. And we can debate that until the ends of the earth. But, you know, we do have the capacity to enlarge our concept and to continue to enlarge our concept every day. And then we enlarge our experience of this unlimited life, you know, and which allows us to experience more of it. So that's just, you know, think about it for a minute. We can't limit it, but we can limit our experience of it. And that's what he's been talking about this whole time. In no way can we limit God, but we can limit our experience of God. We can't limit life, but we can limit our experience of it. So, all right. Many feel that God intended them to have a life of suffering and hardship. And isn't it any wonder that that is what they have? This way of thinking is a sign of spiritual infantilism and intellectual starvation and belongs only to those who are afraid of God and the reality of their own being. We need to know that there is no limitation in the mind that created all, and that there is no necessity for us to limit ourselves in any way. Okay? There is no necessity for us to limit ourselves in any way. We must strike out boldly in creating our new design for living by enlarging our sphere of thinking, thus increasing our range of experience and degree of fulfillment of the good life. All right? And so that's what he's talking. That's what is. He talks about the cup of acceptance. He talks about the cup of acceptance a lot. And that's one of the things is that we want to get a bigger cup. You know, you start out with this thimble of acceptance. This is all I'm willing to accept, okay? And then you trade it in for a cup. And then you trade it in for like a big gulp. And then you trade it in for a bowl. And then you trade it in for a bucket. And you just keep trading up with your cup of acceptance. And the more you are willing to accept, the more you can experience. So, all right. He always ends this with a little bit in italics. So let's do that. And then we are going to wrap this chapter up because we are done with great possibilities. And we will move on to discovering yourself. That's chapter 7. All right. Let's see. A person as a self-conscious expression of spirit, which is never limited, encounters limitation only through their own thinking. A person imposes limitations on themselves through wrong thinking. We must wake up to the tremendous creative nature of our thought. We can specifically, definitely direct our thinking in such a way as to be productive of good in our experience. I guess today was kind of like a little wrap up of the chapter. Look, for the most part, okay, on a certain level, the only person getting in our way is ourselves, okay? And here's where I'm going to acknowledge, yes, there are systems that get in our way. There are absolutely systems that get in our way, but God didn't create those systems. We did. So we have a responsibility to dismantle the systems that get in our way. And where do we start? We start with ourselves. It's one of the most fundamental things about science of mind. The best way to make a better world is to make a better you. And then when you have made a better you, you interact with the world differently, and the world around you starts to shift. You make better decisions. You interact with people on a different level. People respond to you differently, and they walk away from you responding to other people differently. Okay? Emotions are very contagious. Emotions are very contagious. So if you interact with somebody angry, then they're probably going to walk away from the reaction potentially angry, and it spreads. But if you are happy and joyful and peaceful, and you have a reaction, you have an interaction with people, then they could potentially walk away from you, if not joyful, maybe a little more peaceful than when they started their interaction with you. So, I acknowledge the systems, but I also want you to know that those systems were not created by God. They were created by people, which means we can change them. All right, so trade in your cup of acceptance for a bigger cup, and let's keep going. So, all right, I am now going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day. A take care of business day, a take care of yourself day, a let's wrap this week up day, a enjoy the sunshine day, because this is apparently going to be the warmest day we have this week, because we have another polar vortex coming this weekend. Yay! The cat is over here purring in the sunshine. So, cuddle your fur babies day, drink plenty of water day, do what you gotta do day, make sure you make it time to sit down day, you'll get caught up day, so don't worry about it day, a good day, and if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are spirit in motion, God in action, a beautiful masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time, at your own pace. My favorite part of that sentence. I don't know if I said you're a brilliant light, divine spark, but you are. And, as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. So explore the truth of your being, get to know who the divine knows you to be, because the divine knows you to be good. And from there, anything is possible. Anything at all is possible. All right, beloveds. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9-ish tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.